There's here the only three sales quote pitch steps you'll ever need. Good morning to you. This is my podcast, Facebook group live stream, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube live streams. Welcome. I want to talk to you about the only three sales pitch steps you'll ever need. I don't know, 100 to maybe 100 books on selling. I've had more in the past. I probably owned a total of maybe 150 or 200. I don't know. At one point, I just went through Amazon and bought every book on selling, I think, that existed. And out of everything I've seen, everything I've read, this is the single best formula I've ever seen. Good morning, whoever said dog. Let me see if I can see who that is. Sometimes it takes a bit for my live stream to register over here on my Facebook where I can see names, right? So, let's see if it's not showing on my, oh, there it is, Matt. What's up, Matt? How are you? The big dog. You are the big dog, Matt. How are you? So you can go through Hi Fattest, how are you? You can go through everything on sales and selling that you'll find. And it boils down to three basic steps. You can make it fancy and add a step or two, take away a step or two. But really, if you're selling, it comes down to three things. Number one is the need or the opportunity. We'll call it the need, right? Now you could call that the gap between where they are, where they've been, where they are, where they want to be, where they are, where they want to be. You can call it a gap. It's a need, right? Or an opportunity. That's number one. Number two is your solution, not your offer, but your solution. There's a difference. The steps to get them from point A over to point B. That's your solution. Now, that solution can apply. Many products or services can offer to take them from point A to point B. This is simply your steps to get from point A to point B. I'm going to give you an illustration of this in a minute, so hang around. And then part number three is your offer of your specific product or service that's going to help them take the steps to get from point A over to point B. John Childers used to give an illustration that was like this, that point A and point B, between point A and point B are these landmines. And he's going to show, he's already gone from point A to B. He knows where all the landmines are. So he's going to show you exactly where to step to get from point A over to point B. Now, I want to give you an illustration of this. I have it actually around here somewhere. I don't see it at the second. But it's a transcript of what Dan Kennedy used to do was he would give away for $1. I do remember audio cassette. This is a long time ago, in like business opportunity magazines or business magazines, and I think it was called Expensive Experience or something like that. And you would request this audio tape. He would mail it out to you. And the audio tape sold, I believe it was a $200 product, which I wish was still available, oddly enough. Dan said it's like his worst product ever or something, but like, the pitch is so great. 30 years later, I still want the product. I would still buy the product. Still wish that product existed. That's how great the pitch is. Step number one in this pitch, he spends like 10 pages out of the whole transcript, which must have been 20 minutes or something, building up why the minimum acceptable income is $100,000. Now, keep in mind, this was like 30 years ago. That would be like $500,000 or $1 million today, right? Anyway, he's building the need, the gap between. See, when they come into listening to this tape, they're, oh, my income's okay, my job's okay. So to create cognitive dissonance, in order to create an imbalance, he has to show them a new standard, which at the time was 100K, and that would create a big gap versus their current income. Today, it'd probably be $1 million a year. Now, that's a year income, not like, it could be $500,000 a year, right? It was a lot of money back then. All right, so he creates that need, that gap. Step number 2 is he presented 5 steps to get from point A over to point B. He presented a 5-step solution. If you want to get from where you are to $100,000 a year, you've got to follow these 5 steps. Then point C was, here's my product with 48 things I'm going to teach you. And he goes through each audio tape and all the things he's going to teach you on each audio tape. There were 6 audio tapes, and he went through it side by side. Like I said, I wish the product still existed. It's really just the best pitch in the world. And you're like, wow, I'd really, even though this is very again, really would have liked to have heard what he said about these. Interesting point. He said the recording was not a very good quality. I don't care about the quality. If you really hit on somebody's hot button, you really got information they want, you really have something, they're not even going to care if the audio is is poor quality. They're not going to, right? So now, if you want to know how to do this, want to know how to take people from the need to the solution to your product, and from point A to point B, I have a product. It's called One Sheet System. I'll see if I can pull it. I think I can pull it up here. Let me see here. OneSheetSystem.com. Let me see if I can pull it up over here. All right. I'll pull this up so you can actually see. I'm just going to spend 1 second on this. But this is it right here. In 10 minutes, this sheet can convince virtually anyone to do anything, which may sound a little bit like an exaggeration, but if you really understand what's on this sheet, it's actually true. There's some pretty incredible things that people have done with this formula, or very, very, very similar formula. So anyway, OneSheetSystem.com. If you're interested in sales, selling, persuasion, highly recommend that you get it. So this is the formula, though. The only formula you really need for selling is step 1, create the need or the opportunity, the gap. Step 2, present the overall solution. Step number 3 is then present your product service. Now I'll give you an example of this. Way back after I graduated from college, I worked for a very short period of time for a brand new startup that was selling an advertising thing in Oklahoma City. I was horrible at selling. I had no freaking clue what I was doing, to be honest. I had no clue. But in any event, knowing what I know today, the first is you go in there and it's like, hi, my name is Marlon. We're representing a new advertising service, but I'm not here to talk to you today about that. I just wanted to find out, meeting local merchants, finding out what are they doing to promote their business. How are the things they're doing for advertising working or not working? I thought you might really appreciate if you just take a minute to tell me what you're doing, what's working or not working, what's going on in the market over here right now. Now, this gives them a chance to bitch, moan, and complain about what's not working in terms of advertising, how it's all overpriced, how it doesn't reach the right people, just how terrible it is, right? How terrible the reps are. And you listen and you take notes, right? And then you say, well, listen, I want to share with you something that's may be of use to you. Let me just lay it out here on my pad. There are 5 steps to really change all of this for you. It's not about my service, what we sell, what we offer. I'm just saying in general, let me just show you these 5 steps and just see if you don't resonate with these don't make sense to you. Then you're going to lay out the 3 steps or the 5 steps of the overall solution to get the results, right? You're going to lay out the 3 steps or 5 steps, 7 steps, the overall solution. And then you say, listen, I don't have time to go into it right now, but do those 5 steps make sense to you? Would you agree that if those 5 things were in place, that it would help you really get the results that you need for advertising, being able to bring in new customers? Yeah, Marlon, I think that might work. Listen, what I'd like to do is just set another appointment where I could come back and show you just what we're doing, what our service does, and how that walks you through those 5 steps. Now, it may or may not be right for you. I understand that. There's no pressure here, but I like the opportunity to present what we're doing and how it might be able to help you. I have an appointment, tomorrow or Friday or whatever at 2 or 4, which would be better for you, right? Morning or afternoon, which would be better for you. So that's an example of how it would work. Need, solution, and then your specific product or service. It's a dynamite thing, and this absolutely positively, it's the only selling solution you need. You're doing webinars. Really good webinars, when you listen to them, are need, solution, offer. Need, solution, offer. The really good webinars, now they have content mixed in there, but typically the content is explaining the overall solution, the steps of the overall solution. That's the content. The offer is your specific product or service and how it meets those steps in the solution. Video sales letter, same thing. Written sales letter, same basic thing. Nobody ever gave me this formula. Now, because in the old days, you had attention, interest, desire, action. That's an okay formula, right? I think this is much better, though. I think this is much better. So anyway, I hope this is useful to you. If you got an insight from it, type it in comments. If you watch on replay, type replay. Watch it live, type live. Watch to the bitter end, type bitter end. Y'all have a great day. I look forward to